On the day I buried my father, my sister walked into the lawyer's office wearing his favorite necklace, the one he promised to leave me. She didn't even wait for the will to be read before announcing, "I'll take care of the house. You can stay in the guest room, if you behave." I just sat there frozen. My father's handwriting was still fresh on the condolence cards, and she was already dividing what wasn't hers. When the lawyer opened the envelope, her smile didn't even flicker because she'd already read it. Somehow, she'd convinced everyone that she was the one who deserved everything. The house, the furniture, even Dad's old watch. I walked out that day with nothing but my car keys and a promise to myself. If she wanted the house so badly, she could have it, for now. But what she didn't know was that the property was still in my name and she'd just moved into a trap. Because the next time she opened that front door, it wouldn't be her house anymore. Hey everyone, welcome back to Revenge Flame, the home of stories that burn with betrayal, heartbreak, and sweet, unforgettable revenge. If you love real-life inspired dramas that twist your emotions and make you whisper they had it coming, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because today's story will leave you questioning what family really means. It's a tale of greed, inheritance, and one sister's cold plan that turned into poetic justice. Trust me, you'll want to stay till the end for the moment she realizes. It's all gone. I grew up in a small town where family meant everything, or at least, that's what I used to believe. My sister Alina was always the golden child, the one who got the praise, the attention, and somehow, every ounce of Dad's patience. I was the quiet one, the one who listened, worked hard, and stayed out of trouble. When our father fell ill, I was the one who cared for him. Every late-night doctor visit, every sleepless hospital stay, it was me by his side, not her. Alina was too busy. But she always managed to show up just in time for family photos. Dad would smile and say, "One day you'll understand. Son loyalty always finds its reward." At the time, I didn't realize what he meant. After he passed, I thought we'd grieve together. But Alina turned cold, almost unrecognizable. Within days, she was talking to the lawyer, changing locks, and telling everyone I had no right to the house. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about inheritance. It was about control, and I was about to show her that even the quiet ones can burn everything down silently. At first, I tried to keep the peace. I told myself grief makes people act strange. Maybe Alina was just overwhelmed. But every day she pushed a little further. She started redecorating the house, moving Dad's things into storage, even throwing away his old armchair, the one he used to read in every night. When I questioned her, she laughed and said, "You're too sentimental. It's just furniture." But it wasn't. It was him. Every corner of that house still carried his presence, and she was erasing it piece by piece. Soon relatives started calling, confused, asking why I'd moved out and why Alina was suddenly the owner. That's when I realized she'd been rewriting the story, turning me into a guest in my own home. Her friends started visiting, lounging in the living room like it was theirs while I stayed upstairs, listening to them joke about how I should be grateful for a roof. I wasn't angry yet, not fully, but something inside me shifted. Every cruel laugh, every slammed door was fuel. And the day she tried to sell Dad's antique piano, that's when the fire truly started. Burning, the breaking point, came on a Sunday morning. I woke up to strangers walking through the house, real estate agents, holding clipboards, pointing at walls, and discussing renovation potential. Alina stood in the doorway, smiling like she owned the world. "Oh," she said casually, "I'm showing the house. I'm thinking of selling it. Don't worry, I'll give you time to pack your things." For a moment, I couldn't even speak. My throat tightened, my chest burned. This was our father's house, the place where we celebrated birthdays, where he took his last breath, and she was treating it like a business deal. When I asked how she could do this, she shrugged. "Because I can. Dad trusted me, not you." Her words hit harder than any slap. I watched her sign papers, laugh with the agents, and pose for pictures as if she hadn't just erased every memory we ever shared. That night, I sat alone in the dark living room, staring at the empty shelves where Dad's books used to be. I wasn't confused anymore. I wasn't hurt. I was done being quiet. And if she wanted a war, she'd just declared it. She thought she'd won. She thought I was broken, packing my bags while she prepared to sell her new house. But what Alina never realized was that Dad had already transferred the title to me weeks before he died. She was living in my house the entire time, so I played along. I let her bring in buyers, hold open houses, and brag about her smart investment. She even hosted a family dinner to celebrate the upcoming sale. That's when I made my move. In front of everyone, the buyers, our relatives, even the lawyer she tried to manipulate, I pulled out the real property documents. Her face went pale when she saw my name on every page. I smiled and said, "Funny thing, Alina, you can't sell what doesn't belong to you." The room went silent. The lawyer confirmed it on the spot the deed was in my name, and it had been all along. Within a week, I sold the house myself. And when the new owners moved in, I handed her an eviction notice with a calm smile. For the first time, she couldn't speak, and I didn't need to say a word. Alina stormed out that day, screaming that I'd betrayed the family. But the truth was, she'd betrayed it long before. Our relatives didn't say a word, they just stared at her, realizing who she truly was. I moved on quietly, sold the house, donated part of the money to the hospice that cared for Dad, and never looked back. Sometimes revenge doesn't need rage, just timing, truth, and silence. And as I drove past the old house one last time, I smiled, because she finally learned the difference between inheritance and entitlement. Looking back, maybe I could have handled things differently. But when someone takes everything you love and calls it theirs, silence stops being strength, it becomes surrender. Dad once told me, real justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just closes a door and walks away. I finally understand what he meant. It wasn't about money or property, it was about peace. Alina lost the house, but I gained something she never will. The calm that comes from knowing I stood my ground. And sometimes, that's the sweetest revenge of all. What would you have done if your own sister tried to steal your inheritance? Would you walk away? Or take back what's rightfully yours, just like I did? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story hit you hard, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Revenge Flame, where betrayal burns. But justice always rises from the ashes, because sometimes karma needs a little help, and here, we make sure it finds its way. See you in the next story.